Hello, good morning. Oh, it's actually afternoon, but my mum rang me this morning. She has her DNA test results and she said there's a little bit of a surprise, so I am going over there now. Right, so I am here at my mum's, so we're gonna do her DNA reveal. She doesn't want to be on camera because she's got a big fat spot on her lip. Right, so I'm at my mum's house, so we're going to do the DNA reveal and then I can compare it to mine and see which bits I get from her. Now, what do I think she's going to have? I think she's going to have a very high percentage of the Celtic, so the Welsh, the Irish and the Scottish. I would say, I would expect to be about 60%. And I expect the English, based on mine being 7, I reckon maybe 15. Then I think, Clara's Pelino. Then I think she's going to have a high percentage of Scandinavian and possibly the Nigerian, but we shall see. That's what I'm thinking. Right, so we're going to press play, aren't we? Shall we see what she is? Let's go. Okay. 54.5% Irish, Scottish and Welsh. 14.8% English. 12.5% Scandinavian. Oh, that's like double of mine then. Iberian! 9.3% Iberian.
Okay.
Italian! 8.9% Italian.
You weren't Italians, you can't be her daughter.
But how come I haven't got Italian in me?
No, dear.
You don't eat enough pizzas.
Oh my god.
I mean, you said she found you under a tree.
Yeah.
She did. She
Oh my god.
Like we found
Was he
you.
surprised? I was surprised.
Yeah,
That's why you like pizza, because your nana's Italian.
Iberian. It was,
I was dying to tell you.
oh my god. So some of that Iberian comes from you then?
Yeah.
But you got no Italian.
Haha. Not
8.9% Italian's
That's not-
high?
Yeah.
Where would you get Italian from?
I don't know. Where would I get Iberian from?
Called Pizza Hut.
Oh my god.
Thought I was English and Welsh.
Oh my god. Did it actually play the Italian music? Let's just
Yeah.
listen again. Let's
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
again,
yeah.
everybody. Hang on. Right, so here's my mum's result. 54.5% Irish, Scottish, Welsh, 14.8% English, 12.5% Scandinavian, 9.3% Iberian, and 8.9% Italian. Why didn't I get Italian? You just thought I'd have got a small percentage. I'm so jealous. I want Italian in me. Oh yeah, it's working. I love the music. I think that is fine. And I don't hear the Scandinavian because we didn't. It wasn't a hand. I can't remember. It's like being in Italy. Oh wow.
Wow.
Right, so I'm back home now. I have my results. My mum's, I wrote them down. So for the Irish, Scottish, Welsh, I have 33.8%. My mum has 54.5%. So I've actually taken a very large chunk from her. For the English, I had 7% English and my mum had 14.8% English. So that's roughly half. For the Scandinavian, I had 6.3% and my mum had 12.5%. So again, that's roughly half. as well. Now my mum had, I didn't expect this, 9.3% Iberian. Now I had, let me just find it, 15% Iberian. So I've obviously taken some Iberian from my mum, possibly, maybe, and I've taken a large percent from my dad. So my dad's obviously got Iberian as well. And then my mum had 8.9% Italian. I have no Italian in my result at all. I am shocked by that. I would never have ever thought. There was a slight part of me that thought maybe she might have some Iberian, because there was a rumour that my mum's great, I think it was, yeah, 2 times great grandmother was olive skinned, and that there's a rumour that maybe she's a descendant from a Spanish sailor. You know how families like to talk and gossip. So I was aware that my mum's 2 times great grandmother was apparently olive skinned and looked a little bit different. But I'm really jealous. I don't have any Italian, and yet I really wanted some Italian in me, so I'm really jealous about that. Now I want to address some people in the comment section on the original DNA video I did were so rude to me about, don't you know where the slave trade comes from? Because I had 1.4% Nigerian and 1.1% North African. Just for those of you who haven't watched my previous video, I also had 1.3% Finnish, 27.6% Baltic, 15% Iberian, 6% Ashkenazi Jewish, and then I had this 1.4% Nigerian and 1.1% North African. Right, so this is the end of the video. Oh, it was so exciting, and to see that my mum had Italian, I am so jealous. I absolutely love Italy. I love the language, and you know, whenever even if I bypassed, I'm like, well, mania, la la la. I just love it. You know, and I love the food there, and I just love the people, and I love the culture. So, oh, I'm so jealous. Maybe if I took a different DNA test, I might have Italian in me. I don't know, but my mum is so lucky. Anyway, one of the things my mum wants to do is try and find this Italian and the Spanish link. There is a rumour. Now, I got this from somebody else. Many years ago, 8 years ago, I contacted somebody who we shared, I think it was their great-grandparent was the sister of my mum's great-grandparent, and they told me that there was a rumour that my mum's 2 times great-grandmother had olive skinned, and that maybe she was a descendant of a Spanish sailor, because she lived in Poole, which is a port in England. It's beautiful there. I love it to pieces, and that is something we really want to explore, although we know so much of her family history as far as what's documented in the records. Is there a secret there that we haven't unearthed? So we definitely want to explore that. So I can't wait to do that. As for me, with my results, where am I going to go? Well, I really want to explore the Jewish heritage, and I really want to explore the Iberian. And now that I know that my North African and my Nigerian comes from my dad, it's going to be in there somewhere in the history on my dad's side. So I really want to explore my dad's heritage more and go further and go back further as well. So I'm going to be doing videos on that. Who else can we DNA test? Well, my daughter Clara, she really wants to have her DNA test done. It's coming up to Christmas. I thought I'm going to do that and order her kit very soon, so that she can get her results hopefully for Christmas Day. That would be amazing for her to open her DNA results on Christmas Day. She is convinced she has Viking in her. And to be fair, I actually do think she looks kind of Scandinavian. And her dad, I did some of her dad's family tree, and they pretty much are all along the northeast coast of England. So, you know, place names still originate from, you know, the Viking days when they were settled there. So it's possible she has got more Scandinavian than any of us. So she really wants to explore that. So of course when we do that, I'm going to be releasing that video for her DNA results. What else was I going to talk about? I made some notes here. Hang on a sec. Hang on. I need glasses. Yeah, so where do I go with all of this? Obviously I want to research all my ethnicities, and I want to help my mum with hers as well to find the Scandinavian, because she's got quite a large percentage, 14.5 I think it was. And she's got Iberian and Italian, which completely shocked her, really surprised her. And I was shocked by the Italian. I'm so sorry if I just burst your eardrum. I can be quite loud. Anyway, so there's that. I want to explore this rumour of my mum's 2 times great grandparent with the olive skin and see if there's anything there. And also I've got to contact my mum's cousin, who I haven't spoken to for 10 years, and see if they've got a photo of this, you know, 2 times great grandmother, and see if she really did have olive skin. I don't know. But it's just ironic that there was this rumour that she was olive skinned, so that would match the Spanish and Italian. The other thing I have to address, because obviously because of the title of this video, is when I did my last video about I was shocked by the African, I think there was quite a lot of people who took that the wrong way. That they took it that, oh, she's shocked that she's got African and she's ashamed of that or something. Or she's embarrassed, or, you know, it disgusts her. It really, really doesn't. When I saw that, I was so shocked, because I took the DNA test because I knew I have done so much of my mum's family history, you know, going right back to 1500s. But my dad's side, all I know from my dad's side is his grandparents' names. That's it. I don't know anything else about my dad's family, and he says he doesn't know anything other than that his parents came from Poland, and his parents, the one was born in what is Germany, and the other one was born in Lviv, which back then was Lao, which is now part of the Ukraine. That's all he knew. So I wanted to do the test to discover more about my dad's side, I suppose. So I wasn't expecting to see North African, Iberian, wasn't expecting to see Nigerian, and now I know that's from my dad's side. I need to explore that. But I was shocked because I wasn't expecting to see it. I didn't know what was going to come out from my results, and this is why people do DNA tests. They do it to try and learn something about their heritage. So if I was shocked, it wasn't because I saw it as a negative, not at all. I am so proud to have all of those ethnicities in me. I'm so proud, because it just shows you what a mixture we all are, really. So I wanted to address that, because I had some people say, look at it in a negative way. They took it in a negative perspective, and it wasn't meant to be like that. The other thing I have to address is how rude some people were towards me about thinking I was very obviously very naive. Of course, I got my Nigerian from the slave trade. Had I ever heard of that? You know, am I really that stupid and thick? No, I'm not really that stupid and thick. I have heard of the slave trade. And that's the other thing I want to address. But there was one particular comment that actually made me quite angry, and I'm going to read it to you now. Right, so this one comment kind of summed up quite a lot of people's opinions about where I got my Nigerian from, and everybody just jumped to the conclusion it was because of my British heritage, which I now know isn't true. Now, obviously, when I got my results, I considered, could it be from my British roots? But I also, with the Iberian and North African, I believe, you know, there was that idea that yes, it could come from that as well. But this comment summed up so many people's perceptions and attitude. So, right, so this guy called Rory goes, slave trade, ever heard of that? That's where your Nigerian comes from. I said, yes, I have heard of the slave trade. It existed in most countries throughout history and every civilization, because it has. You know, North African Arabs also took European slaves between the 16th and 18th century, with an estimate of between 1 and 1.25 million slaves. So he replies, the British, English, Welsh, Irish and Scots were neck deep in enslaving West Africans. Let's rather focus on that part of slave history which answers your questions about your Nigerian gene. Well, you don't know that. There's other possibilities that it could be. You're just jumping to conclusions. So I said to him, you asked me if I'd heard of the slave trade as if I'm stupid. I just answered your question. Equally, the Iberian countries were also involved in the slave trade from Africa. In fact, they were the first to be transporting slaves from Nigeria. Anyway, the reality is I probably won't discover who this ancestor was to learn their story, because that ancestor has got a story. Then Rory replies, maybe you are stupid if you don't know that your people, my people, that slave was my people as well. That's my ancestor, and I wouldn't be here without that Nigerian ancestor. Anyway, he goes, maybe if you are stupid if you don't know that your people brutalised and raped slaves and produced someone like you down the line. I mean, how rude. Your Nigerian gene comes from rape that took place in the white slave masters' homes and plantations. Don't create divisions to Arabs to try and paint a picture of Europeans being victims. Go and read your history. Fact, Europeans raped slaves. That's how all of you whites who have traces of black genes got that. Listen to the hatred in that message. Just take that on board. Now, there was a lot of comments that took this stance, a lot of comments. So I replied, I am very much aware that British people were involved in the slave trade and what they did. I have not denied that in this thread. I was merely trying to point out that Britain weren't the only ones involved in slavery, which is a fact that you seem to be unable to digest, and your obvious hatred has shone through. Britain, and I want you to remember this, okay? Britain were the first to abolish slavery and helped to abolish slavery within other countries. They were also involved in slavery the least amount of time in comparison to other countries and civilizations. I'm sure those Europeans that were captured at sea and through raids would have seen themselves as victims to slavery. You cannot choose the racial group that you want to push your agenda. Secondly, don't create divisions on Arabs. I was merely stating historical facts. I think it's you that needs to learn about the history of slavery, not I. And that is very, very true. I have North African in me. North African Arabs took many African slaves, black African slaves. They would use them throughout North Africa. They would also transport them to the Middle East. North Africans also took European slaves. I have a strong family from Dorset. I can trace my roots back to 1300s. When you're going through Dorset records, you often find, you know, documents relating to people, a ransom from Arabs asking for a ransom for fishermen that were taken. So that happened. You can't just ignore that history as well. And also, I have 15% Iberian. Portuguese were the first to go, of the European colonies, were the first to go to Nigeria and take slaves. So that could also be where my black ancestry comes from. So I just felt that I had to bring this up because I'd had so much negative comments. Firstly, being sarcastic to me as if I hadn't heard of the slave trade, as if I'm really stupid and thick. But secondly, because there was just this natural presumption that because I'm British, it comes from my British heritage. And even when I tried to explain, well, actually, it could be from the Iberian, it could be from the North African. No, we're not going to go there, because we want to blame the British. You know, I think the lesson to be learned from this is you cannot just fixate on one element of history. You have to look at it all. So what I'm trying to say is that it's wrong to only portray one side of history. If you're going to portray history, you need to talk about all of it and discuss it. I do not mind you commenting and discussing, but please don't leave angry or racist comments in the box, please. Okay, but this is my video, and that's my DNA results. I can't change who I am. I can't, and nor would I. I wouldn't change my ancestry. I think it's amazing. I think it's fascinating, and I think it's amazing because all of those different ethnicities, it's like, these are people's journeys. It's their journeys, and I think it's awesome, and I think it's amazing. And I think it's amazing to have African in me. It was something I did not expect, and it's something I really want to do videos now, looking at my different ethnicities, trying to research, trying to find out what I can, get as close as the past as I can to my ancestor, and you know, discover Nigeria. Maybe one day I can go there. That would be so cool. You know, and I just look for it. It's a journey, isn't it? And you know, let's stop the hatred towards each other, okay? Because it does not take us one step forward, it takes us one step back. And that's how I want to leave this video. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will be doing more ancestry, DNA kind of themed videos, researching my history, how I'm going about it. I have another video coming up about my heritage. Is it real? Does it work? So, because I have a little bit of information on that, I'm not going to say anything. So I've got that video coming up as well, and as I said, Clara's going to have her DNA done, and I think that's going to be so cute because she's only 9, and she'll be so, oh god, I hope she has got Viking in her. I hope she has got Scandinavian. Anyway, so take care, keep well, bye bye.